Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Well, it's nice to finally meet you virtually. How are
Mhm.
you?
I'm not too bad.
Good. Did you have classes today or
Yeah, it's been a long day.
yeah? Oof. How many have you done today?
Started at 8. I did 8, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1:30. How many is that? 8, 9, 10.
Five so far, maybe?
Yeah. And I've got another one. I've got another two to go.
Okay. Wow, so a busy day. Have you got a break for the holidays?
Yeah, I'm taking one.
Okay. It will be needed, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm taking one from
Mhm.
tonight.
Oh, lovely. Very nice. Well, welcome. For the people listening, can you just introduce yourself, where you're from, how long you've been teaching English, etc.?
Okay. Well, my name's Louise, and I'm currently working in Spain. I've been here now for 10 years, and I originally came as part of my university program where I was teaching English in a school in Spain. And
Mm-hmm.
I decided, well, I enjoyed it, so I'll stay.
Very nice. And did you teach in person when you started and then transitioned to
I did,
online,
yeah.
or how did that
I
work?
did, yeah. Well, I started back in 2008, so I've had a good few years of experience of in-person
Mm.
teaching before we all had to switch to online.
Okay, super. I also whereabouts in Spain are you living?
I'm in central Spain. I'm in Castilla-La Mancha.
Oh, okay, very nice. I used to live in Madrid, but now I'm in the Canary Islands, so a little bit further away
Um,
now. Okay, great. Well, for today, we'll just look at where you're at the moment, the problems that you're facing, and how I can help
mhm.
you to move forwards. All right.
Okay.
Um, you might want a pen and paper. Have you got one at the ready in case you want any notes?
No, I haven't.
I'll give you a moment if you want to grab a pen and paper.
Yes, please.
Yeah, yeah, don't worry, no problem.
I'm back.
No problem.
Yeah, I usually take my notes on the computer, but
Oh, well, even that is fine. Yeah, of course.
no,
Um,
it's easier for me to do it on paper.
okay. Um, okay, so we'll start at the moment. I'll ask you a couple of questions so I can get to know your situation at the moment. I know about it previously, but I'm sure you've progressed a little bit since then.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, okay, so do you want to tell me a little bit about what problems are you facing at the moment? Is it finding new students, increasing your price, getting them to reply to you? What are the problems that you've got?
okay. Well, I'm finding that individual students, on the whole, are generally okay. But I would like to make a move from individual to maybe groups of two or three.
Mm, certainly.
I'm not I'm not asking for a group of 10,
Yeah,
but
just,
three or four.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it varies in terms of price. The responses are generally okay, But I do notice that if anybody calls me, they expect me to do in person. And I say, no, it's online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we'll look at the first thing about your classes and potentially moving towards group sessions or 2 people in those classes. So here, I'm guessing the reason you want the group classes is obviously to increase what you can earn in that period of time, that time, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think aside from that, it would also make it a bit more interactive, and it would be less work on me because the students would be able to work together.
Yeah, completely. It's more interactive as well. Yeah, but obviously financially, that it's a huge motivator to get if you can get 2 people. For example, like Louise, if you had the goal and said, come January, if you were to target primarily looking at group sessions, because obviously we're nearing the end of the year now, it's difficult to find new students now because a lot of people are holidays, Christmas, come January, people have goals and objectives, and learning English, people consider that come January. So what you could do is change your adverts a little bit, to start advertising to market yourself for groups, okay, or 2 or 3 people. Can you just remind me, what is your niche, or who do you primarily teach?
Well, I'm centered on conversation classes, and I can also do exam classes as well.
Okay. Is there an age category?
Generally adults.
Okay, perfect. So, for example, if you want to get a group session, okay, say for example, if I was you, I would consider even just getting 2 people for now in the same group, okay? Because, like you said, you're not looking for 10, but even if you can get 2 in that hour, you can almost double what you're earning for the same amount of time that you're putting in, right? So you no longer have to do 2 hours work, you just have to do 1. Of course, the harder part is making sure that you can find 2 people. What I would recommend here is finding friends, finding colleagues, finding 2 people who know each other, okay? How do you play it? Because some people might say, I just want individual, or you want to think about, well, so far, have you considered how you might try and market this idea?
Well, I've done it in the past, and it's always been siblings or friends.
You have to think about what are the benefits for them, okay? Because otherwise they'll just perceive it that you're doing it for you, which of course, yeah, it's fine. You want to increase what you're earning, and a group session, even 2 people, is a perfect way to increase what you're earning, right? But you have to play it in a way that when you market yourself, the benefits for them is right at the front of your advert. So how we speak about previously, I know you've watched my masterclass and obviously the course, the online marketing course, and in there we speak about the idea of looking at always what's the benefit for them, okay? So here you could speak about the fact that if you've got 2 in the class, it will be a cheaper rate for them, because obviously it will be slightly lower than what a 1-to-1 would be, but obviously you're still hugely benefiting, you see? So you can tell them that they'll be benefiting in terms of price. Make sure what your end goal is what you want financially, but you have to offer them the idea that they'll be benefiting financially from having the friend in the class or their colleague together. Okay. The second thing you want to do is encourage them to reach out to their friends or whatever. How I've done it in the past is if they invite a friend along, and for example, if you were to go into group sessions with them, they'll also get a free class. Okay. I don't say free class in terms of you're wasting your time, because obviously the minute you think free, you think, but I'm not earning money. The reason being is because if they can bring someone along, it's that free session, that one class, is well worth your time if they bring a client to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So in terms of, to answer that question, the best thing you can do is rejiggle around your advert for the new year. That top question that you would have needs to mention the idea of 1 to 2 classes, or bring your colleague with you, or have you got a friend that's also wanting classes. Something I would also recommend on this note, the way you can play it is, you mentioned conversational classes. Typically, people who want conversational classes is because their level isn't very high yet. And they feel a little bit anxious, nervous to speak. So what you can say is, by bringing your friend along with you, you haven't got the pressure anymore because your friend's there with you. It's a more relaxed environment, stress-free. So when you rewrite that advert, just keep it focused on the benefits for them. Okay? Okay, great. What was the other problem you mentioned to me about previously to this?
The fact that people will phone me and they'll say, when I say I just do classes online.
Yeah, that's it. How often do people phone you?
I mean, it's not very often.
But
it's not. But obviously, with the current situation, it's not.
Yeah, oh, totally. But not just for that. You're an online teacher. You're not an in-person teacher. We're online for a reason, because you don't want to factor in traveling time. You know, it's online. The only thing you could do to avoid that, because you don't want to waste your time with people who want in-person classes, is in your advert, make it really clear that these are online. Some people, it could still be in your advert and they'll still ring you asking for in-person classes. That can happen. But you could make it even clearer in your advert that these are online classes. That's something else that you could add. But what I would do, I mean, I've previously said it, but come January, if you're wanting to gain more students, if you want to get these group sessions that you spoke about, which is a really good idea, Louise, because you can earn more money, you know? Instead of, imagine if you had just 5 sessions a week that were group sessions. You no longer need to do 10 hours of classes to create that amount of money. You only need 5 hours. So it's worth the investment of your time to try and find these students, because then later down the line you've got them and you don't need to be working more to earn that money, you see. But definitely push that come January, because January is a really great time for people to start English classes, a pack of English lessons. Okay, so really do push that come January if you're wanting to transition more to group or 1 to 2 classes. Okay, great. So obviously also for other people who are listening, you have been a teacher that I've been helping with my masterclass that you've been watching previously, and also the course, online marketing for ESL teachers. How have you found the information that you've received? Any of it, even the masterclass at the beginning?
Well, I've not finished the course yet, but what I have seen of it, I like the thinking behind it. You know, the like changing the mindset. I think that so far that's the most interesting aspect of it.
But don't you think it's true? Because as a teacher, I mean, you said to me before you were an in-person teacher.
That's it.
And don't you think it's true that so many teachers struggle to increase their price or ask for money, ask for a price for classes? So many teachers feel guilty around the idea of that you're charging a price for something that actually you're hugely benefiting other people by giving them English classes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I let a student go not long ago because when I increased the price, she wasn't prepared to pay that, and I was like, okay, then that's fine.
How did you go about that? How did you speak with them?
I just said basically for the time that I was doing the class, it was I think 9:30 to 10:30 at night. I was going to have to increase the price, and she said, well, I can't pay anymore. And I said, well, okay, I'm sure you'll find somebody within your budget.
Yeah. But you've already applied the information in the course by being in a position where you can say that you've increasing your price, and if a student isn't willing to pay more, it's okay to say no to them.
That's it.
Because this is something I speak about in the course so much, is an abundance mindset. Teachers think, there's no students, no one wants me, where are these people? But the reality is, if you are finding students and you want to increase your price and people aren't happy with paying more, then it's okay, because you can certainly find someone who is more than willing to pay that higher price.
That's it.
Something I would say though, and this is something I have trialed and errored with myself, when you want to increase your price, sometimes what you can do is, obviously you're wanting to increase your price because the time that you're of the class is in the evening, late at night, so it's a less convenient time, as it were, compared to a different time, so you're wanting to increase the price. The other thing that you can do, it does depend on your niche and it does depend on your clients, but sometimes you can say, look, I'm increasing my price for this reason, but you're also going to get something else. For example, I remember you mentioned about exam based. You could say, look, at the moment, this is the price of the pack of classes for the month. From next month, my price is increasing to this amount, okay? But as we're approaching your exam, you're also going to get more of my personal support in terms of maybe once a week they can send you one writing exercise for you to check the mistakes, for example, because they will be thinking, well, I'm having the same thing, but I'm not gaining anything more. So sometimes you have to play the game a little bit and say, but you're also going to get this. It has to be something that you're not investing a huge amount of your time, okay? For example, if it was exam-based students, limit it to one exercise a week that you might be able to check. Not unlimited, otherwise they would just take advantage. You don't want that. But if you said one a week, they're far more willing to say yes to that higher price when they think they're getting something more in return. And some people, what you might find, have you increased your price with other students and they've said yes?
Not in this way, no, just on the platform.
Just okay, because what you might find, come January, you might increase your prices. Okay, January is a typical time when sometimes gym membership price increases, anything can increase. So if you were to come January, say, look, my prices are increasing, I'm doing it with my clients, that's exactly what I'm doing. Come January, my prices will also be increasing, but there's marketing behind how you can do that. And what you want to do is, it's absolutely fine if someone's not willing to pay the price, to say goodbye, I'm sure you'll find someone else. That's absolutely fine, Louise. But if it's someone who is happy to pay more, it's well worth asking and also playing it in a way that they're going to benefit, you know? For example, I've got a client of mine, and don't get me wrong, of course, sometimes it can feel a little bit intimidating to ask for more. But I know if you say it in the right way, they will be more than happy to pay more, because they'll also have the perception they're getting a better service, that, for example, with the exam base, that they would be having, oh, great, that's one exercise a week that I can get checked. I'm really confident that I've got all the mistakes corrected. If I'm an English learner and my English teacher is prepared to do that for a small investment more a month in the classes, well, then I'm really happy, So next time, if you wanted to increase your price come January, test out what you did before, but add in the idea of some other service or way that you can help them. Of course, yours is adults, but for other people who will be listening, it can also be if you had children classes with kids, a service can be marking homeworks. That can be a reason why you increase your price. Exam-based, one exam practice you can check a week or a month. That's a service. These are ways that you can increase your price and they still say yes, ideally. Okay. Okay, so for my listeners, I would like your opinion. In terms of my online marketing course, I know you haven't finished it. That's absolutely fine because there's lots of different modules. Who would you recommend it to in terms of newbie teachers who are transitioning to online, teachers wanting to find how to get new students? Who would you recommend it to?
I'd probably say those looking to move away maybe from academies, platforms, and go completely on their own.
Completely. I think a lot of people who have been with platforms or companies, academies, they know the frustrations. The earning potential is very limited with companies, in fact. I'm sure you've experienced how much you can earn more going independently than with companies, no?
Definitely.
Completely. Okay, and the other question I wanted to ask you is, my course, Online Marketing for ESL Teachers, would you recommend the course to other teachers also in a similar position to you? And why would you recommend it?
Okay, I think it's good for people, as I said, looking to start out on their own. But not only that, it gives you the tips and the things to look out for that if you've not done it before, you might just fall into that trap and make those mistakes, particularly with things like pricing.
Why do you say pricing?
Well, it's easy to think, oh, if I'm new, I don't have any students, then I have to start low with a low price.
Totally. And so many teachers make that mistake, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And it's normal to feel that way, but it doesn't mean that you have to act on it because you're just as good a teacher as anyone else. Of course you can have a higher price. But yeah, all about pricing strategy. I'm sure you've avoided a lot of mistakes through listening through the masterclass and the course of different ways you can do things. It's so easy to make these mistakes, like the pricing wrong. For example, I asked you, and I know you know because it's something I talk about so much in the course, having a niche, you know? I see so many teachers saying, I'll teach anyone, everyone, but that idea is such a fundamental mistake because you end up being for no one. Whereas, you know, I said to you, what's your niche? Straight away, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And do you speak about that niche when you advertise yourself?
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, have you got any other questions you wanted to ask me?
Don't think so. I mean, I've got some work from a couple of the websites I got from, I think it was through the masterclass.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about.
Okay. Great. I mean, push if you're wanting to gain those other students and the groups. Push it come January, Louise. That's the time, because after Christmas, people generally sit down with a pen and paper and budget in per month English classes. You know, people they set the goals, they set the intentions to learn English. Come January, get those adverts that I know you've already got them, change them a little bit, tweak it for the group idea, what I mentioned before. Mm-hmm. Come January, post that, post. And I'm sure you'll gain more students because it's January. So just don't forget that. I think that's something that is good to do come January.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for today. If you've got any other questions moving forward, you know you can always message me on Messenger. Absolutely fine. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. Only a couple more classes to go.
Yeah.
And good luck with the transition to finding some group students.
Thank you.
So